team. We were all fired up. That's kind of the momentum and the energy that we want to take into the new year. I also want to say that if you have not made a plan to go to the conference next year, we're all going in December, that needs to be your numero uno priority. I believe it's December 4th-ish, Steph, 1 through 4. Something in there. So
yeah, you're referring to the GoPro. GoPro is December 4th, and then Summit is in July.
Right. So I just want them to have 2 goals on the top of the page. Like if you have a pen and pencil, you want to have Summit in July as your goal, and you as first goal to meet the team, be with the team. You want to hit that through Success Club. You also want to hit that through just making a plan and getting there however you can, because it's going to be something that energizes you. And the speeches and meeting all the different people, whether it be the instructors like Sagi or Autumn, and also just other team members and all the other top successful coaches. And I'm sure they're going to put Stephanie up on the stage at some point probably this year, because she's been hitting her goals. So we want to be there to support as well. Then in December, we're going to be going to the GoPro Network Marketing Professional Development Seminar. And this is going to be another milestone for everyone. So kind of mid-year and end of year wrap up. And I just think it's something that we should talk about. So think about doing that as well. How do I advance these things? I'm getting noises. Oof. You know, I bought a Mac and I'm not familiar. Haley, how do I advance this? Normally you hit this thing. Got it. So let's start off with talking about success, okay? In the real world, I think that people who are successful already have a clue. They know that when they start off, there's going to be all kinds of detours. And actually, it may not even be failure. It may be things that help you develop. It may be stumbling blocks that help you get momentum, help you get stronger, help you get where you really want to go and meet some people who are key people who help you take you to the next level. But the majority of people, they actually think they wake up, they make a decision, they go for it, they win. That is so not it. And anybody who's ever trained for a sporting event or played an instrument or set any kind of goal, I've done both, you know, cheerleading in the past. I used to play violin for an orchestra as a child. You know, there is no wake up and play a concerto. It just does not work that way. So if you've ever struggled or tried for anything, you know that there's going to be these stops along the way. But if you keep your mindset, you're definitely going to get where you're going. Here's a lot of reasons why people don't achieve a goal. I think the number one, I put as number one, it's fear. You know, they, believe it or not, I never really understood people who have a fear of success. But there's a lot of people out here who, I guess they're worried about the responsibility that might come, or they're worried about having to be in the limelight. They're worried about people having to call on them. They really just want to kind of do their own thing, stay in their corner. We're not in that business. We're in the business of helping people and kind of being there, and people reach out for us. We certainly can keep business hours, but we can't let our fears hold us back, because a lot of people are looking at us, and even when they don't say anything, they're really watching you. So you're going to have to find a way to overcome your fears. I mean, I know public speaking is one of them, but I don't have that problem. Pessimism. Some people are negative. They just want to downplay and down talk things. Oh no, it'll never happen to me. Oh, I never win anything. You know, I was winning some door prizes the other day and I was surprised because there wasn't any skill involved, you know, but really I put my name in the bin because I wanted to win. You got to put your name in if you want to be successful, right? You have to at least show up to the game, right? A lack of ambition. Some people really talk themselves out of things. I think everybody would love to be successful, but they realize, you know what, it's going to be work. It's going to take time. There's going to be sacrifice, and they talk themselves out of it, right? Some people put things off. I'll do it later. You know, I'll talk about it. I'll worry about it later. Self-esteem probably sits behind all of these things. If you don't think you're worth it, if you've been told you're not worth it, if you have failed at things before and it's kind of chiseled away at your self-esteem, if you're a starter and not a finisher, if you haven't completed things in the past, these things can wear you down emotionally, mentally. And it can start to affect you physically. I've experienced this. People who meet me today would never think that, but I've experienced it in my own way. I look back. It's easy, to look back and see things a lot more clearly. If you are sitting around wishing on a star, on a pot of gold, you definitely are someone who doesn't have a plan, because that's going to require some responsibility and some steps in between. We all probably have things we wish for or would like to have happen, but we really need to have a plan. So wishing, hoping, finger crossing, praying, these are steps along the way that I think we've all taken, but we must act. We can't sit in our house and hope that, opportunity is going to knock at any time and we're going to be successful. We have to take the next step and be bold and step out. I stuck in some fun pictures since we're Beachbody coaches. I put in some fun pictures of myself. I don't have a lot of pictures of myself from before, but I think since we have coaches from all different walks of life and from all stages of growth, in their physical development, in their personal development, I wanted to share with you that there was a time when, I don't even recognize myself sometimes in these photos. But, if you look over here, I was super confident. I thought I was cute. I thought I was doing something. I worked in sales. I was very successful. I was a sales manager. I really enjoyed what I was doing. And you can kind of see all that energy in the photographs. This is a bigger me. I'm successful, but I'm starting to question the lifestyle. I didn't have a lot of balance. Things are starting to slip. My goals, I started backtracking on my goals because I was just eating away my sorrows. I had a lot on my mind, a lot going on. And then once you get to here, it's like obvious to me now, but I was drowning my sorrows in food and just sitting on the couch. I would watch marathon TV. I didn't even care about TV, but I would sit there and eat, and I was slipping away. The old me that would set a goal, set a plan, was starting to really, I ate myself into a corner in a way. So, I was not that confident anymore. I could not fit anything. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was at my parents' house, like, those are pajamas, just in pajamas all day. Like, I would shower and put pajamas back on. It's just odd to me now, but I was dealing with some issues in self-esteem. So, I don't want you to look at somebody at a different point in their life, the highlight reel of their life, and think, oh, I can never do that, or that could never be me. In the good or the bad, we can all slip, and we all can rise above and get ourselves out of a dark hole. And I definitely was there. So I just wanted you to take a look at that. Just because I was overweight, I was not unhappy. But it started to manifest as time went on, that things that were bothering me, I wasn't dealing with. Some of my fears, some of the things that were looming ahead of me, worrying about failure, worrying about other things that were starting to burden me. And then you start to see me looking down and out. So, the weight wasn't the first step, but it did catch up. If your plan does not work, you should change the plan, but not the goal. You definitely want to keep your eye on the prize. This is difficult for everyone. There's going to always be that point where you want to put it out there and then you kind of want to take it back, or you only want to say the first step because that one's achievable. So Stephanie mentioned this at the beginning of her talk. She's saying, okay, let's just say, ooh, I want to hit emerald, because that's one we think we can do. But that's not a stretch goal. That's something that isn't going to take you out of your element. You could literally probably call 2 people and maybe a 4th person and sign 2 people up right now if you so desired, because most people would be okay with that, because you probably call people that, trust you and would want help or whatever. But that's not a stretch. So you don't want to diminish yourself or diminish your goals to match your self-esteem today or your energy today. You have to keep that goal and match the energy that it takes to get it done, or at least shoot for it, because typically when you shoot high, aim high, you still win. That's how it works. You have to think about, some people will give you superficial answers to this question: what makes you get out of bed? What is your why? Some people will say things like, my children, right? It's still a surface answer because it's the right thing to say. You know, people say, oh, you're a doctor. Why do you do that? And my response that's superficial would be, I like helping people. Yeah, I do like helping people, but there's a lot of other things that come with that job, and I could help people other ways. So there has to be a little bit more to the story. And instead of me really sharing a lot of my why, I just want you to start thinking, what about yours? What is going to be the deal for you a year from now, 5 years from now? If your goals are big and you hit them, you need to keep setting new goals, and you need to keep developing your why. And you can have 30 of them, but all of them should get you out of bed, and all of them should make you excited, because on any given day, we do realize that not each one of those things is a reason to do it, right? To make the sacrifices. I really think, I showed you those pictures. I had to reprogram my mind. I am so happy for the personal development that comes with this group, with this training program. Stephanie and I met and we clicked right away. I was seeking her out. I'll tell you a funny story about that one day, but, I sought her out. I said, wow, that I can do that. I like her energy. And, she sent me this awesome journal. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. It's like she always knows, it's a journal, it's empty, and I've got to fill it up and create the things that are in there. And I have to decide, what am I going to fill my mind and my book and my thoughts with every day? And you have to guard yourself. You have to set up walls around you for things that are negative, and a filter for things that are positive, so that you can continue to feed your brain every day the things that will achieve your goals and help you reach them every day, because there's always going to be something to pull you back. There's never an end or a shortage of things that are trying to knock you off track. So you have to, that can come in the form of people, that can come in the form of media, right? So we have to be careful what we're opening our time and our mind to. This was me finishing my goal. This was me finishing about 14 years of my life, of school, of study, of people telling me I couldn't do it, of people telling me, oh, you'll never be a doctor, you'll never finish this, you'll never finish that. This isn't me finishing medical school, because if you don't know anything about medical school or doctoring, you don't realize there's another 3 or 4 years after that to specialize in order for you to really practice medicine. And so, you cross this finish line, you get this piece of paper, and you really have the beginning of your journey. And it can be very difficult, because a lot of it's done on your own. And I had to really give myself a positive outlook. So that last photo with me kind of down and out was me about to go to medical school. I was not in the right frame of mind for all the obstacles that were coming my way. And I had to get up every day and make a list of why this was a good idea. Because everything around me is saying, this is not a good idea. Why would you sell everything? Why would you leave everything? Why would you walk away from this life that you had before? Most people would never do that. If it looks like a sure thing, people go for the sure thing. But I had a bigger goal. I had a bigger mindset. I had a bigger dream and a bigger vision. And I just didn't think that it was better to stay hidden and be fearful. I thought it would be much better for me to risk it all, because I was kind of at rock bottom. Things weren't so great. I had nothing to do but gain. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to listen to the naysayers and the negative people. I detoxed my friends. I eliminated obstacles, and I just put blinders on. And every day I had to have a positive discussion with myself. And every day I had to make lists of things that had to be done no matter what I felt like. And they also had to be goal achieving. So if it wasn't on my list of things to do to achieve my goal, I just didn't make time for it. And, after practicing that for many years, Stephanie and I were on the same page about these things, and I'm learning the ways of this new career, but it's all the same thing. You're going to have a set finite amount of hours in the day, and you have to decide how you spend them. And some people and some things, unfortunately, are not adding to the goal. They're subtracting and detracting and bringing you down. So I had to elevate myself every day and pray every day. I had a friend that would get up at 4 a.m. every day just to read the Bible. And then we would meet and discuss, and we would walk and start our day and get our mind right. And we would exercise, we walk for an hour. And I lost that weight in 3 or 4 months because I had my mindset that this was what I must do to achieve the next step and clean out detox my body and my mind to achieve my goals. And I was able to do that. So you just have to set it in your mind, get your plan in order. There is work involved. Stick to it, and you can achieve it. But it's going to take a lot of fortitude on your part. Most people will refer to SMART goals. That's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and there's got to be a time element involved. So you don't want to, when your client says, inevitably, I want to get fit or get healthy, these are the sort of questions we're going to need to ask to kind of tease out of them. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Talk to me about that. So we do usually ask them, how much weight do you want to lose? Or is there a certain size you want to wear? Measurable, inches, weight, pounds, whatever. Attainable, we're not going to let them tell us they want to lose 30 pounds in a week, right? So we need to talk about realistic goal setting. But this all applies to you. If you are setting financial or business goals for yourself, you're going to have to, and hey, we have fitness goals too, because people are looking at our results over time. So we have to actually apply all of this to ourselves. And we have to say, is this goal that I'm setting going to help me propel my business? And sometimes we get distracted by life and people in our lives that are important. We're going to have to figure out what our priorities are in order to make this work. To achieve something that you've not achieved before, you're going to have to do things you may have never done before. This is just a fact of life. You know, people always say it's insanity to do the same thing, expect different results. Well, it kind of works the other way too. If you want a new and shiny thing, you're going to have to do something different that maybe you have never done before. The other side of it is you're going to have to do what other people wouldn't even think about doing. Sometimes when you're about to press that button, when you're about to post something, we're about to share a part of your life or share a part of your story, you just don't even want to press the button. You're like, oh, this is like the last thing I want to do today. And you start running through your mind all these thoughts. But at the end of the day, if you put your successful mindset in play at the beginning of every day and set your intention every day, if it's going to help you reach your goal, if it's going to help you reach out to someone who needs you, who can connect with you, that's exactly what you should do. You should press the button, because other people aren't willing to do that. But sharing your life and being transparent in many ways, I'm not saying tell all your business, but I am saying that being real and approachable is very important. And when they feel like your life is too shiny, too glossy, too perfect, they don't even want to see it. Half those shows that were around in my childhood aren't around anymore because people don't want to see perfect anymore. They like to see all of the flaws that exist because they can relate better, I guess. Keep your mind on the goal. Everything you do, everything you post should reflect back to your core values. Here's some things that I was telling everybody, bring a pen, because these are some ideas that I want you to start mulling around. These are not things you have to share yet. I think you should spend some time with it. But I want you to ask yourself, if everything were ideal, if everything were perfect, what do you think, what one thing would help you achieve your goal? The goals that you've set for yourself, what one thing would help you out of all of it? Some people will say money. Some people will say time. But you'd have to make time, right? Or we'd have to figure out how to make you some more money. So if all of the obstacles were out of the way, what would help you achieve your goal? And if money were no object, what would you do with your time? So most people work to make money. Okay, let's move all that out of the way. What is your purpose? I read Purpose Driven Life one time. I never needed to read it again. I wrote notes all through it, and I did look at my notes one time again, and I said, oh my goodness, 8 years have passed and I've achieved. I'm working towards my purpose. I got it. One day I woke up and I realized. So once you move everything out the way, what do you want to be? What legacy do you want to leave? If you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied that you fulfilled your purpose? And if you don't know what it is yet, we're going to have to work on it, because that's going to be kind of, as money is not an issue anymore, you're going to have to figure out a deeper purpose. Why aren't you successful? If you don't think you're where you want to be, why do you think that is? Do you take responsibility for the fact that some of it could be you? Number two, what do you think's in your way? And how can we remove that? Or how can we improve your ability to reach your goal? So you have to kind of analyze. I feel like sometimes in life you have to work backwards. When I wanted to be a doctor, I went to the books and saw that there was a direct path to get there. Oh, I have to do this and this and this and this, and you work backwards. Well, this is kind of what we're doing here. If you were to look way down the future, down the road, all things being perfect, what do you see? What are you enjoying? What is your life about? What is your legacy? And what would help you realize all of your goals? So what would be the 1, 2, 3 things that would make your dreams possible if your current situation, we tend to think very short-sighted, but if you could expand that a bit, what do you see? What would be the one thing that helps you? So this is another exercise that I want you to do every day. This is a challenge. Thank goodness Stephanie gave me a whole tree. She killed a tree for me so I can do this exercise. But these are detox your mind exercises. We want to end and start the year a certain way, because whatever is holding us back, we have to leave it behind us and start thinking about where we're going. That is why we're going to kill some trees. And I don't think typing is the same as writing, okay? I want you to write it down. I don't care if it's chicken scratch. Every day, you need to set your intention and set your brain on the goal. So every day you're going to get clean sheet of paper. You're going to date it. And you should say, here are my goals for the next 12 months. Nobody cares what you write on that paper, in the sense that it's the same goal every day for 365 days. But if you were to sit down and think about what matters to you and what's important to you to start your day every single day, you can do that while you eat cereal in the morning or drink your Shakeology, right? You can write this down and just kind of set your mind in play. And when things don't match up with that list of 10 things, you already know what you're going to have to do. Okay? They have to move out of the way. Out of those 10 goals that you've listed, whether they be fitness goals, financial goals, which one, when you look at that 10, pick one. You're going to circle or highlight one of the 10 that stands out as the one that would change your life or affect your life or improve your life bigger than any of the other ones. Now, I know some people who have some big health problems. If their health was improved, that might literally right now, this could be, on the edge, that could literally be the one thing that could change everything for the better, because they may be spending a lot of time, energy, and resources on being sick or not being well or not being available to people who they love. So it doesn't have to be about money, but you do need to figure out what this thing is, because you're going to need to put some energy towards it to move it out of your way, or to put it as your top priority and get your focus where it belongs. Many of us have a lot of goals and a lot of dreams and a lot of thoughts, but if we don't prioritize our time in our day, none of it gets done. None of it. It doesn't look good when you have half-finished projects everywhere. It's like cleaning your house. I don't know about you, but sometimes you start off vacuuming, you got dishes in the sink, you got laundry half done, the beds aren't made. Somebody comes over right at that moment, it's not a good look. And that's how your life gets to be, cluttered and half finished and books on the counter and everything. And you're like, no, really, just I'm almost there. But it doesn't look like it, because everything is not prioritize. You're almost better off finishing the dishes and inviting them into the kitchen, right? So that's kind of the idea. You want to finish some stuff so that somehow you get credit. Everybody will tell you to read Compound Effect. I used to work in banking. Okay, what haven't I done? I know. But I was going to show you a slide, but I did, it did escape me to insert it. But, you know, when you show people how retirement planning works, which is kind of what we're doing, we're talking about the future, we're talking about long range goals and short term. When you show people the investment calculator, their eyes just blow up, because you'll say, okay, if you were to just put your $25 per paycheck every 2 weeks in here for 30 years, it becomes this, based on, you know, all these different calculations and so on. But people don't realize that the key is to start. It's not so much how you put, how big is the deposit. The key is that you put it in consistently, and it will grow and compound for you while you're sleeping. So that's the key to your success in business, in your finances. People will tell you they can't afford stuff, but you can look them up and down and know that it's not true. They just haven't figured out the value of it yet, what you're offering, okay? They've got their hair done, their nails done, their kid has on shoes more expensive than you, they're playing on gadgets that you're like, how much is that? They're driving a fancier car than you. Clearly money is flowing, but they don't have the value yet. And that is how retirement works too. If you deposit just small amounts on a consistent basis, it will blow up into a very comfortable life. But since most people don't have the discipline, they don't start. And therefore, retirement comes and they are very disappointed that they didn't make those deposits. So I'm asking you to deposit in yourself every single day, small amounts, and put it out into the universe, and not let fear stop you, so that you can reach your goals even when you think it's not working. There are so many times I've posted and I'm like, crickets. And then I get this weird inbox message from somebody who's like, I'm trying to figure out how to go on your site and buy this thing. You just don't know. You're always talking to someone, and that's the beauty of social media. So just keep at it. Be consistent. People are actually paused and waiting for you more than you think. So it's all about choices. I kind of summarized some of the principles that come out of that book. And one of them is all the choices that you make, the habits that you develop, the momentum that you build over time. And all of that's going to be based on your goals, your values, your positive attitude we talked about, the good. When people are learning a fitness journey, you can't say, okay, here's the 80 different positive things you can do for your health every day and do them all today. Most people would just run away screaming. They would be overwhelmed. Well, a lot of times if you just take one bad habit, whether it be soda, if they drink 50 of them a day, well, let's cut it down to 30. You know, you got to give them something that maybe they can wrap their mind around. And actually at work, they call me, you know, food police and food Nazi and whatever, but I've had a lot of people around me diminish bad behaviors, and they always run up to me, look, I'm drinking water. Look, I'm doing this. Very proud of the progress they've made, and I am too, because there was a time when they used to drink 3 Pepsis a day, the big 20-ounce, working right next to me. And today they're like, no, I drank 2 liters of water and I don't drink soda anymore over a 6-month period. Oh, and by the way, I've lost 10 pounds. And these aren't clients, but you have a sphere of influence all around you. And that goes to show that people are watching, and people do invest in what you say. And when you practice what you preach, they buy in. So you should always be yourself. And I don't pick on other people, but they see my little healthy habits and they want in. They want to feel good too. They want to look good too. So replace those bad with good as much as possible. Routines are going to be a big part of your goal setting and goal achievement. Having that, I get up, I do this, I follow through. How many times do I post today? It's 3 to 5, you know, all of your vital behaviors. We talk about these things. You may get sick of hearing them, but I hate to tell you, if I read 8 books on this exact topic, they all say the same thing, because it's all true. As far as influences go, we talked about this, your sphere of influence. You are a sphere of influence to others, and they are to you. You take your top 5. That's something else you could write down. 5 people in your life. You can do that quick. Turn the page. 5 people. It could be mom, dad, hubby, children, etc. But pick adults, right? 5 people that you spend the most time with, or they're high in your list of priorities, people you spend most of your day or hours or energy on. And I say energy because some of these people you don't want in your life, but unfortunately they're yours and you're taking care of their issues. Those 5 people, go ahead and figure out that when you divide it out, you're the average of all of them. So if you continue to allow people who don't bring value to invade your time and invade your space, they tend to be people who suck life or add life. And you've got to figure out how to make that balance. If you are the only positive in that equation, I've taken a lot of math in my life, and all I can tell you is one negative is not going to help. One negative you can kind of cancel out or kind of put to the side. But if you have more positive, obviously you win. And if you have to change the balance, then that's what you're going to have to do. And sometimes you don't end up with 5 at all in the beginning because it takes a while to attract more of the good. So think about the 5 people you're around the most or spend most of your energy on. The media, the TV. I didn't even own a TV. I mean, of course, I'm married to this IT guy and he loves computers and TVs. But I lived without them for years. And it's probably good for my brain because I read more and I spent more time on things that mattered and prioritized my day. And there wasn't any time for it. And you're not missing much, honestly. Your physical environment, if you're not happy with it, if you don't like what you see when you get up, you probably need to go back and set those goals and set yourself on fire again to get them done. Because if you want to improve your physical life as well, and I don't mean just get a new car or anything like that, but if you're just not comfortable or you saw yourself in a better place, put yourself there. It can be done. You can accelerate all your goals by doing all the things that we talked about, and momentum and deposits every day as part of that. So when you set I'm trying to give, different people learn different ways to do things, the same thing. So I'm giving you various exercises that are successful at helping people achieve their goals. You may not do all of them, but if you were to choose one of them, especially the one where you write down your 10 goals every day, your big goals, or even a daily list of things you must do, that is going to help you. But another activity called mindstorming is highly successful, and very successful people do these sorts of activities. They pay big dollars, thousands of dollars to talk to health coaches and life coaches to help them, propel their career or their business forward. And they do these sorts of things. They'll say to you, okay, what do you want? You tell them, I want to be a millionaire. They say, okay, when do you want to do it? I want to do it by the end of the year. Okay, well, how are you going to do it? And you're like, oh. That's when things start to fizzle. And that is where your 20 answers come in. If you can figure out how, write it down. How are you going to do it? Do the math. I think it's when Stephanie and I went to a conference, they were talking about a millionaire mindset is like $500 an hour, right? Well, how do I make $500 an hour if I want to be a millionaire? That's the kind of mindset you have to have. You have to start thinking, okay, I make $5 an hour and I'm shooting for 500. How's that work? But these bigger goals are going to help you come up with more creative ways to reach them. And so you have to do these activities where you start figuring it out. Start your day off right, period. People will tell you, I'm not a morning person. I like to do this at night. Okay, I'll give you that. If you want to do it at night, every single night on your way to bed, which tends to wake up the brain, sorry. But if you start doing a habit where every day you start off with your goals, with your 10, where you write it, where you see it, and hey, some days you might cheat, but look at yesterday's list and just reinforce it. Say it out loud and read it. Know this is what I want, and make sure everything fits with that goal, those 10 goals, especially that one that will change your life, change everything. That is to enrich your life. Now, you can spend that on spiritual time. You can spend that on meditation. Part of it could be when you get your workout done and then you sit down while your oxygen is flowing and you're feeling very energetic and pumped up. Steph said it's just like, oh, you can work out, you can get your blood pumping. Start your day that way with energy, with purpose, with the goal in mind. Make a list every day, get it all prioritized. And they say if you do the most important thing first until it's complete, over time, you're going to be 1,000 more percent productive. So basically, you can control how much money you make over many years, just like compounding, by being more productive, more intentional, setting your intention every day and making it a habit. And it's so funny because that's what I did. I don't know how I did it. Sometimes I'll look back at that school and I'm like, that's over? But I just set my mind right every single day. If you notice in that one picture, those are all guys. I was stuck with a whole locker room full of men and just me, and no one was like me, and I had to make it work. But it did work because I just kept saying, what are we going to do if we don't do this? There is no fallback plan. We have to go forward. And you know what helps is if you have your audio. Keep it around you. Keep it in your car. Like when I work out, I do like to work out the music. Forget that. But in your car, when you're in transport, you need to have audiobooks playing in your subconscious or in your conscious mind because you're setting your intention. You're keeping those positives in your life. So let's talk about your goals for Beachbody. Number one, most people, they want to make money. Income goals are good. I think with Beachbody, income goals are a little tricky though, because there's no linear representation of if I do this, then I'll get this, right? So you should stick with your why and just take care of, why you get up in the morning, focus on that, be energetic. Hitting Success Club is a surefire way to do that. If you are always hitting Success Club 5 or 10, you will do well. You will reach goals that you did not reach before. You will suddenly start to get momentum that we talked about. These checks are just rolling and rolling in on a regular basis just because you keep going forward and they keep coming and new clients keep coming and referrals come. And then I had clients from the beginning buying hammer and chisel and hey, I'm going to do hammer and chisel with you. I'm like, okay, that's what you want. Okay. So hitting Success Club 10 means you get more leads. They're free. That's also more income. So it's hard. It's tricky to say, I want to make this much money, and so I have to sell this many challenge packs. It doesn't really work that way, and you know it. But I want you to focus on always hitting Success Club 10. And if you hit 5, we'll all be so sad. No, it's a good thing, and it's going to be something that you want to. And the company measures that momentum. People who are successful measure the success, right? And so does the company. And they'll help you keep track of that. And it's nice the back office does it for you. Recruitment is another goal you should set. If you are doing well, imagine if there were 30 of you. Now, if it's in the Matrix, I'm sorry, I'm a geek. You don't want 30 of those like people coming at you, all those evil agents. You don't want that. But in a good way, if you're working towards your goals and you are reproducing yourself and you're getting good habits and you're teaching other people how to be like you and you're attracting more people who are determined, successful, goal setting, and focused, you're going to be highly successful. So, instead of worrying about the money, you should worry about hitting your numbers, hitting your goals, your mini goals, recruiting other people who are like you, who are positive and energetic, because that's what the team is about. And people who have good self-esteem, people who are very positive and have a lot of good energy, who give that off, and may already have a measure of success in their other life. That's a very big background story. If they're already successful, they tend to be more confident, and they tend to have other people around them who are as well. And then rank advancement is another goal that you're going to want to set for yourself. And you don't want it to be a little stingy goal. Okay. So for instance, I have set a goal with the help of my coach to hit Success Club every month, of course, 10. I was doing good. And then, I'm gonna kick back up. I'm gonna kick it back up a notch and try to get that 10 every month. That is the goal. And diamond, 3-star diamond. 3-star diamond by Summit. We can all celebrate that. So, my recruitment goals, I'm still ironing it out, but I said 100 last time we all talked. So 100 coaches, that's my goal. So I'm going to be working on it and tweaking it and putting it in front of me every day and finding ways to make that happen. And that starts with being your best self, right? Failure is not an option, because if you get anywhere near where you want to be, you're going to be a winner. I mean, that's the good news. It's basically going to change everything. We're going to talk at the end of next year. All of us hopefully will still be here. And those of us who see ourselves a certain way, I'm sure we will be, because we're just not going to stop until we win. We're just not going to stop until we touch enough lives. It's just not going to happen, right? So this is going to change your life. We're all going to be here to celebrate it. And we'll all be in Vegas in December next year. So this is going to be a good milestone for us. And if you put your mind on that goal every day, you're going to find ways to make it happen. You are. Let's crush it. I put this last picture here because I just got married. And people told me I would never do that either. They were like, oh, you're not going to get remarried. There's no men out here. There's no good-looking, smart ones with jobs that don't have 8 kids. I mean, you've heard it all. I've heard it all, right? Not true. And so, I had a vision for my life, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did it. And I want you to know that you can too. And that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter if people believe you. Nobody was signing on to half of the stuff that I knew was right for my life, because me and God, we had a deal. We were talking about this, and this is how it's going down. So I just want you to let your own mind go where you really secretly go when you dream at night. Put it on paper. Scare yourself in the morning like, oh my gosh, did I really write that? And then figure out how you're going to make it happen, because you can. And there's going to be a lot of people around you who don't believe in you, but that's why you just show them. You don't have to tell them. You just show them. Tell us. We believe you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toni. Unshare your screen so that I can see the rest of the.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking for the right thing.
I want to thank you so much. That was really, really awesome. I see some of the girls are saying that it was really great, for them, has them teary-eye, and just really, just very, just great for the end of the year. I want to see if anyone has any comments they want to share. I have some notes that I wanted to kind of just share, but I wanted to see if anyone had, you can type it or just raise your hand. If not, it's okay. Obviously nothing is ever forced. But wanted to see if anyone had any comments or questions, at all. Just wave your hand if you have any comments or anything like that. But for me, I really appreciated your presentation. It was really well put together, Toni. And I know you put your time and effort, and I know that you are not a woman who's sitting around twiddling her thumbs. This woman is busy. So if she could put this presentation together with PowerPoint and slides, that's definitely, thank you so much. I know the team took a lot from it. I did record it too, so I'll definitely post it on the team page. But a couple things that I kind of, took away from this call, you talked about in the beginning, just the things that stop people from being successful, whether it's fear, lack of ambition, pessimism, procrastination, low self-esteem. What I want to remind you guys is that, if you guys have those things, also, just like Toni said, you are the average of the people around you. The people around you are also going to have these types of qualities and these types of things. So keep that in mind as you're kind of going to them gung-ho about your goals and your ideas, that they're also going to potentially have these types of characteristics where they have fear for you. They're pessimistic. They procrastinate. They have low self-esteem. So definitely be careful who you share your dreams with and who you take advice from. I say that a lot. Be careful of who you are taking your advice from. One thing that I always tell a lot of my personally sponsored coaches when they come to me with people who are being negative, I say, really look at their life. Do you want their life? Do you want to have what they have? Do you want their problems? So why are you listening to them? And it's the same kind of idea as you're kind of thinking about, as you're kind of using these last couple of days to reflect on 2015 and what were the things that you let hold you back, or maybe you let yourself go inconsistent, or that stopped you from being consistent in your business. What are those things, and leave them behind. Challenge yourself to leave them behind in 2015 and really challenge yourself for more in 2016. So really that idea of detoxing yourself, detoxing the people around you, who could potentially really bring you down. And sometimes that's hard. I know that's hard. Sometimes, sometimes my mom and other people have said sometimes I'm really black and white when it comes to negative people, but it's just how I am. I cannot afford to let other people bring me down. There are so many, just so much that I want to accomplish in life, so many people that I want to help. The vision is really big. And so I know, just like for a lot of the people who are trying to do things in this business, you are trying to create a life for yourself that is the minority of people. You want to create a life of freedom, of freedom of time, of financial freedom. That is something that is a minority. The minority of people will accomplish that. So recognize that and realize that is, that's what you're kind of going against. But I tell you that so that you are prepared for it. And just really, making sure that, I liked what she said about detoxing, also like social media and also, the posts that come into mind and just TV. I'm like Toni, I haven't, all through medical school and all through residency, I didn't own a TV. I didn't own, actually I owned a TV. I didn't have any cable. So I didn't have any cable. And it used to drive my mom crazy because she'd come and visit and she'd say, you don't have any cable. And even now, even now I was like, do I even need cable? And she's like, keep the cable. And so I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in a long time because I'm busy doing other things, keeping my mind really occupied. And so, but one advice that I want to give you, especially for all of my coaches or coaches as you guys kind of think, hey, the social media is flooded with Beachbody coaches and all I see are Beachbody coaches and no one's going to see my message. What I need you to understand is, number one, you're seeing Beachbody coaches because you are following Beachbody coaches and you're liking and you're commenting and you're looking at their pages. And number two, be careful of comparing yourself to other people. Like Toni just said, she showed you her, you look at Toni now, where Toni was a couple years ago is very different, I'm sure, mindset wise and even clearly physically. And so you just never know someone else's journey. And so don't ever, I'm not going to say don't ever because we all do it. We all do it. And it's like we all compare ourselves and we have to be constantly checking ourselves. But one advice I will tell you is that if you are an advanced coach in this business, meaning you've been in this business for over 3 months and you've been like actually giving effort into this business, I advise you to, really unfriend coaches that are not in our team and really only follow 1 or 2 or 3 top 5, maximum 5 coaches that you can relate to. And so everyone else, unfriend them. And I did that. I've done that. I have unfriended anybody who's not in my downline, and I've unfriended most coaches who are not in our team, and I only keep about 4 or 5 that I actually follow. And the reason for that is because I don't want to be bombarded with lots of coaches on my time feed. I want to see my prospects. I want to see my friends, my family. So that is one advice I have to you. Yes, it's good as a new coach to see new coaches and to see coaches that are doing well, but it's really meant so that you can find people that you identify with, and then you pick those 2 or 3 people and then you unfriend the rest. Because you really don't need to be kind of looking, because then you're going to be like, oh, one of the top coaches, said it best. She was like, I'm a top 10 coach, and like Amy Silverman moved to Puerto Rico and she's number 2. And she's like, I guess I need to move to Puerto Rico to be number 2. And it's like, it's just, you constantly are going to be, tempted to compare yourself at any stage. It never goes away. And really, again, like I said, looking at this business and realizing that, and I was talking with corporate, a lot of you guys know I'm going to be talking at leadership in January, talking to a bunch of coaches. And, with corporate, we said it best where it was like, for me, and Toni and other people who maybe have a second profession, this is our second profession or some third, fourth, fifth professions. But to me, being a physician is my job and Beachbody is my life. Coaching is my life. And what I mean by that is you need to find purpose in what you're doing in this business. And that's where your why comes in, and having vision in what you do and what you want to accomplish will come in, because that's the only way you're going to really stay consistent and really keep on track with your goals. For me, this business means a lot to me, has nothing to do with the money, and it has everything to do with mentorship. That's me. And you guys have to figure out, what is it about this business? What is the enrichment how does it enrich your life? Or if you're a new coach, how could it possibly enrich your life? So that you can stay consistent with your goals and stay consistent with your vision. and really, challenge yourself, as Toni was saying, to write those goals down, to have them stretch you, and, so that you can grow into them. I tell people all the time, be very careful what you wish for. I am a big believer that you get what you are ready for. And some of you may realize that. Some of my coaches who are a little bit more advanced may realize that. Maybe now you've reached a certain level of success. You're at a certain level that maybe in the beginning you would not have been ready for. And this is why I love this business, is because it really forces you to grow, and it forces you to be better. It forces you to build your emotional muscle, your mindset. And this is why I also think it's so amazing to join a company like this and our team, and why I never have any fear in inviting people into this opportunity, because who would not benefit from growing? Who would not benefit from being in a positive environment? Who would not benefit from being around positive people that want nothing but for you to be successful? We're not going to bring you down. We're not going to tear you down. We're not going to laugh at your dreams. We're not going to laugh at you. We're going to build you up. And so when you think about having fear of talking to other people, you're really denying them. You're really kind of, not giving them the opportunity to join in with us. We have so much to offer. And so when you really think about growing yourself and really think about where you see yourself in 2016, if you really want a big team and you want to have that success, you need to grow yourself into someone who can handle that success. You need to grow yourself into someone who can handle all the obstacles that come with it, all the things that are going to come your way, all the negative things that are going to come your way, all the things people are going to say about you. You need to be able to handle that. And if you're already struggling with finding time for this business, what are you going to do when you have tens or 20s of people wanting to talk to you, or people to follow up with, or people you can't just leave them alone. You can't just not communicate with them. So really think about where you are in your business, where you want to go, and grow yourself into that person. If you need to become more organized, if you need to become more consistent, stay on track and stay consistent and grow into the leader you want to be. When you are there, when you're in that process of growing yourself, then the success is going to come, because you're going to be ready for it. And that's really, that's something that I want you guys to really, think about. And one thing that I, again, like I said, I really, really like about this business is that as you grow, as the more you grow, the more success is going to come your way. And then one more thing is just really kind of always be self-reflecting. Always be asking yourself, what can I do better? Every single day, every week, look at your week. This is why tracking is so important. What can I do better? How can I improve myself? How can I give more to other people? Because that's like Toni was saying, that's how, that will continue to develop itself. But these are all little practices, things that you have to do every day, so that you can get better at them. So, I took a lot, clearly I wrote like a ton of notes. I know my goal for myself is really, as always, organization and setting, just really working from a list, like Toni said, and really doing those daily, small habits that are going to help me be successful and help me be a better leader as the team continues to grow. I mean, we're almost 1,000 people in our downline. That's a lot of people. And so, and if you want to be successful like that, you have to be of the mindset ready to be able to lead a group of people like that. But yeah, those are my 2 takes. Let's see, there was something else here. I love the part, show them, but tell us we believe in you. Absolutely. We try to share this power. Okay, let me see. Stick with it, write it down, claim it. That's right. Awesome. Yep. And we'll share the PowerPoint. Great. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And I hope that you guys have an amazing end of the year. Be thinking, be pushing, be working hard, be planning, thinking about how you want to start the 2016. Really push yourself to end these last few days strong. Even as you're pushing, realize that you're kind of putting in the work and you're building that momentum for 2016. As you're getting no's, as you're kind of reaching out to people, those are all connections for kind of January, February, March. So keep write your goals down, put it on your refrigerator, put it somewhere, share it with your spouse, share it with us in a team. Let us know how much you want us to help you, because we, the leaders, each other, we're here to really help you stay more accountable. You see us show up every single week. You see a lot of us show up every single day. So if you want to have that same success, really look at your life, look at how you can really make, add Beachbody more into your life so that you can have the success that you want in your business. All right. Awesome. Happy New Year, guys. I'll see you guys in 2016.